Hey everybody, it's Brian back with Inspiring How You See That. We're the channel that talks about all different kinds of music and entertainment, and we interview some of your favorite artists. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll keep up with everything that Kevin and I are putting out there. And today we're back with another one of my, not really countdown, but a listing of some of my favorite albums. These have been a lot of fun. This is actually going to be our third in this series. And I just like to talk about, it doesn't matter what the genre of music is. I look at the album as a whole, and what stands out for these albums is it's not just one or two songs I like, it's all of them, or at least the vast majority. So hopefully you like this. Let us know what albums you really like, and with that, we'll go ahead and jump right in. And as we always do, we'll put all the links down at the bottom so that you can find the information and hear the music of all these artists. So, starting out, this one's going way back to when I was real little. It's Bon Jovi's Slippery When Wet. And I know that, Bon Jovi's kind of looked at, 80s music. I still think his music stands up today. It's phenomenal, and Slippery When Wet was probably, I know it was his biggest album, and it still to this day is huge. I mean, look at some of these songs that are on there. You Give Love a Bad Name, Wanted Dead or Alive, and Living on a Prayer. I mean, Living on a Prayer is still to this day kind of one of those anthemic songs that everybody knows and loves. So if for somehow you haven't heard Bon Jovi and his album Slippery When Wet, make sure you jump on that. It's fantastic. Number 2 on our list is going to be, and I did an artist spotlight on this guy. He was really an influence on me growing up, and I loved him, is Chris Ladue and his album What You Gonna Do with a Cowboy. Chris Ladue is one of my all-time favorite country singers, and this album is what really got me into being a fan. Along with the title track, which was with Garth Brooks, he also had Cadillac Ranch, Look at You Girl, and one of my favorite songs, Hooked on an 8-Second Ride. Chris Ladue was the master of telling a story, even bringing in some rock elements to that country that I absolutely loved. And if you want to start with checking out who Chris Ladue was and what his music, you can't do any better than looking at What You Gonna Do with a Cowboy. The third one on this list, and this was tough to narrow down a album from this artist. They're one of my all-time favorite bands. I know they are for Kevin as well, and that's Five Finger Death Punch. I went back and forth, and it was tough to narrow it down to even two. I got down to Where's the Answer, and then my choice here, American Capitalist, as the album to go with. American Capitalist is a fantastic, and I think what puts it over the top for me is it has my favorite song from Five Finger Death Punch on it, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But some of the great songs on this incredible album are Coming Down, Under and Over It, and the song that I was referring to before is Remember Everything. Remember Everything is it's a tough song to listen to. It's a raw kind of stripped down, and I believe that it's so emotional that I won't even perform it live anymore because of what it means to him. But I love Remember Everything, and I love the American Capitalist album. So make sure you check out American Capitalist by Five Finger Death Punch. Next on my list, and again, this is going to be one that really opened my eyes to a new kind of music for me, and that's Within Temptation's Hydra. This album was kind of my first experience in symphonic metal, and I love Within Temptation. Sharon Denadel, the lead singer, has a gorgeous voice, virtually angelic, and this album is what really got me into it, and it's phenomenal. I mean, what's cool on this one is they put on a number of really cool covers, but the original songs are even better. Like Let Us Burn, Paradise, which is What About Us is kind of the subtitle, and that was with Tarja, and that's a phenomenal song. And my favorite song on this, and one of my favorite songs, is The Whole World Is Watching. I love this song. This is probably the first one that really got me hooked onto Within Temptation. And it includes Dave Pirner of Soul Asylum. He was on as a guest vocalist, and he sang with Sharon. And, I love it. The video is amazing. It tells a story of loss and redemption, and it's just an incredibly beautiful song. So make sure you check out Within Temptation's Hydra. Next on our list, we're going back up north for one of my country artists that I love, and that's the Reclaws and their album Freshman Year. This was, I believe it was their debut LP, and man, did they knock it out of the park right off the bat. This has so many awesome songs on this, and the Reclaws are one of those country artists that, you know, they're not just strictly country, they're rock as well, and I adore the Reclaws. And this album it's chock full of fantastic songs. It was tough to pick only 3, but I went with Old Country Soul, Feels Like That, and my favorite, Long Live the Night. Make sure you check out everything the Reclaws has, particularly their album Freshman Year. And to finalize this video, and I know I'll get some slack for this one, but whatever, is Nickelback's Silver Side Up. I know Nickelback gets a lot of flack. I don't really understand it. I love Nickelback. Whatever. And this album was... this album was probably one of the most played in my late teen, early 20s years. That I wore it out to death. I love this album. It has hits like Too Bad, Where Do I Hide, and of course, How You Remind Me. How You Remind Me was one of those songs that you loved, and it just got played and played and played for a good year, and it was incredible. So I love the album Silver Side Up by Nickelback. So again, that finalizes I believe now our 3rd in this series of some of my favorite albums. I hope you all enjoyed this, and if you did, make sure you give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment. That certainly helps out. Let us know what you think of each of these albums and artists, and what albums would you add to your list? We'd love to hear from you guys. As always, thank you so much for spending this time with us. We love you guys. God bless, and rock on.